watch the way this thing just squats and takes off. Oh my God, I just saw a sign that says 32, for the next 32 miles, there is no hard shoulder. And I think I'm gonna break down. Oh my God, it's on zero. It's on zero. I'm literally driving like a granny to save every bit of power I possibly can. This is stressful, man. This is proper stressful. Honestly, blood pressure, stress, anxiety, it's all currently through the roof. I'm now getting overtaken by a lorry. Right people, so behind me here, I've got a Nissan GTR, not a GTR cab, a Nissan Leaf, yeah, fully electric car. My channel is kind of dominated by petrol heads, but I'm currently daily driving this car. I've just fully charged it, and I really don't like it. We're going to talk about what I don't like about this car shortly, but it is very, very good at the same time, all right? So in this video, we're going to be talking about how many miles we can get out of a full range in this car, because I'm yet to do that. We're also going to be talking about the values of these cars, because electric cars have depreciated massively over the last few months. So there you go, petrol heads, you'll be happy to hear about that. And finally, third and finally, we're going to do a comparison, yeah, a performance comparison, because it's actually quite quick. This is the faster one out of the available Nissan Leafs available, so we're going to do a little 20 to 70 mile an hour test, and we're going to compare this to a Honda Civic Type R. So here it is then, the Nissan Leaf E Plus Techno. So this is like the top of the range one. It's 62 kilowatt hour battery, and performance wise they're about 215 brake horsepower. They do the 40 kilowatt battery car as well. That's about £6,000 less than this car. That was about 150 horsepower. So they're a really heavy car. They're about 1,700 kilos, really heavy, but they are actually surprisingly quick. The battery range differences between this and the smaller kilowatt car is this one is quoted to do about 220 miles to a full charge, whereas the smaller car is quoted to do about 150 miles to a full charge. But obviously in this video we are going to test that. We're going to put it to the test and see how many miles this actually does in the real world with a full charge. So quickly talk about design. I mean, it looks all right. It looks all right. I think with Nissan, you know, they've done a very, very good job of it. Credit to them. They have done a good job of it. It ain't a bad looking car. Like it's typical Japanese car. Like I had an Audi Q5 parked next to me in the car park yesterday, and I was sat in the driver's seat and I saw him close his door, and it was just like a solid door close. And then I got in my car and it does make all these funny noises and stuff as well. And I shut my door and I thought, you know, it just doesn't feel very solid. But that's just a personal thing to me. It is a really good car. It does a great job. It just doesn't excite me whatsoever. Honestly, it's just so bland. But what it does offer is affordable running. And that's what it offers, I suppose, isn't it? And some people don't care about cars. Some people just want to buy a car just to commute in. I often think about my mum as an example. She's not a petrol head. She does like a nice car, don't get me wrong. She would happily run around this car. This is the sort of thing that would suit her down to the ground. Charge it at home. Fully, do you know what? I do think the anxiety of when the battery is going to run out would probably catch her out. And I often think when I'm driving this car, this sounds probably a bit bonkers, is would it ever blow up? Like, do they blow up? Is that a stupid thing to say? Is that a stupid thing to say? Now, they have depreciated a lot. I'm sort of going under the bonnet as I say this, because it is a lot of a traditional layout of a car. So we've got the motor under the bonnet. We've got the seats in the centre of the car, like a usual car, and then we've got a big boot. Should we do the boot first or the bonnet first? Save the juicy bit till last. In the boot, have a little look in the boot. You're going to be shocked, by the way, about how much electric cars are depreciated over the last few months. We're going to talk about that shortly when we jump in. We're also going to do a car vertical check to make sure it's all good. Shout out to Car Vertical for sponsoring this video. I will link them in the description below. Now, in the boot, it's got, like I say, I'm using it myself. So it's got my camera bag in it. It's got my gym bag in it. And it's got multiple charger options as well, but it's really, really big boot. This is the stuff that people care about. Is it going to be faster than a Civic Type R? That's what you lot care about, because my audience, like I just mentioned, is dominated by petrol heads. But in the back seats, you know, it's just pretty roomy. Nice bit of headroom in there as well. Interior is quite nice. Interior is, you know, it's not a bad place to be. Yeah, very good. Bose sound system as well. Under the bonnet. Now, I've specifically asked my valeters not to clean under it because I daren't, like, it's filthy dirty under there, yeah? But there's your motor, I guess, and you've got your levels and stuff and your normal battery there. Very much like a normal car. And then this little flap here, that bonnet is well heavy, by the way. Why is that bonnet so heavy? This flap here is your little charging flap. So we'll get that open. Keyless entry as well, by the way. Brilliant. Got your little button panel here, heated steering wheel. You've got a timer there to set your time of when you're charging it. And then here, it's actually got like a fuel, a fuel gauge icon there for the charging flap. So under there, you've got your connection to the grid, I guess. I'm not too familiar with all this stuff, but I know a lot of people out there are. And then you've got your connection to your house plug, your normal 3-pin house plug, which is what I used last night. It took about, I mean, I charged it the other day, 50% out of 8 hours when charging at home, which I didn't think was very good. I thought that was a long time to be on charge, and I didn't get a lot back in return for that time. So I left it on charge yesterday for about, I don't know, 15 hours. I'm not saying it took 15 hours to completely charge, but I actually come back to the car. It's probably longer than that, actually. It's probably longer than that. But I come back to the car and it was on 100%. So I got in it this morning. Just have a look now. This is what really matters, because petrol heads want to see this car fail. You want to see this car fail. Here we go. Makes no noise, yeah? No noise at all. I did just start the engine there, by the way. Should we do that again and have a listen to the rumble of this thing when you start it? That's off. It's off. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So here we go then. I took a photo of it this morning when I got in the car to sort of show you that 100% of charge should, according to the car, give you 193 miles of range. There you go. Look, it's on 66,944 there, and I've driven 22 miles today. Yeah, 22 miles, and the range is now showing 187 miles. Okay, you with me? So it's actually only gone down by 6 miles in a 22-mile journey. So far, it's looking quite good. So if that carries on like that, the actual quoted figure on a full charge is 226 miles or 450 kilometers if you're watching over in the States. 0 to 60 times, I think it's worth mentioning that. It does a top speed, by the way, of 99 miles an hour. The smaller car does a top speed of 89 miles an hour. This car, or that car, the slower one, does 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds, whereas this one supposedly does it in 7.1 seconds. But honestly, it's quite punchy, man. When you put your foot down in this car, it does sort of just take off. I will demonstrate that when we go for a little drive in it shortly. Anything else to report from here? Nah, nothing else to report there. Let me just, I'm gonna grab a camera quick, throw it up in the window, and then we're gonna, and then what we need to do, see these noises this thing makes, just makes loads of noises. Then what we need to do is we need to go through car vertical, HPI, talk about values, talk about depreciation rates, because that is horrific. We also need to talk about the performance figures of a Civic Type R, and we then need to go for a little drive in it, and then I'm going to report back to you right at the end of the video and tell you how many miles I got on my full charge. Let's just get a camera up in the window. Find that really off-putting, but that's just me, and I often think that. Sometimes I think I dislike a car, and like, as a car salesman, you gotta, you know, you gotta be honest with yourself about how you feel about certain cars. Sometimes people will turn up and be like, I really like this red Mini Cooper hatch with a 1.4 diesel engine, and you've got to see it from their point of view. They love it. That's their that's their dream car. That's the car that they've saved up for and worked hard to buy, to purchase for themselves, to sit on their driveway and be proud of. And you've got to see it from their point of view. And I get it with this car, and I fully understand. Let me do that window up, actually. Let me just fire up the V8. I mean, the whatever it is, the electric. This car, like I keep saying, the purpose of it is wonderful. It has a wonderful purpose, and I can see why people buy them, all right? So don't just sit here and think, well, Calvin's just
slagging off this car. It must be rubbish.
It ain't rubbish. It's actually really good. I just, like I keep saying, I don't really like it. But you're probably wondering, why am I even driving it? Why, Calvin, have you decided to daily drive this car? So I'll tell you how that come about. On Saturday, which was a couple of days ago, we got to the end of the day and I was like, oh, I ain't got a car to drive. So the car that I was driving was the A45 AMG, which by the time this video goes live would have been given away on Planet of Dreams. That was at VRS. That had gone off to VRS. I was like, oh, I need a car to drive. Everyone's looking up. Everyone's looking to go home. It's a Saturday afternoon. And I'm like, you know what's got petrol in it? And I jumped in this. It had a bit of battery in it, I thought. And I just thought, do you know, it's modern, yeah? Inside, we ain't talked too much about the interior, actually. It's quite nice in there. You know, a bit of blue stitching on the dash there, a bit of fake leather here. And they've actually done a really good job of the interior. It's nice. Bluetooth, you know, you've got to have Bluetooth phones, sat nav. It's got it all going for it. It's even got heated seats, and as I mentioned, it's also got a heated steering wheel. It's also got a flat bottom steering, which I thought was quite amusing for a Nissan. The seats, they're full level with a bit of Alcantara on the outer edges as well. I quite like that. I got in it and I thought, Calvin, give it a chance, man. Give it a chance. So I took it home and I just laughed. I thought, this is not my kind of car. But as I was driving it, I thought I should really do a video on it. And I'd done a post on Instagram and people like, Calvin, that is why are you driving that for? And I did promise everyone that I wouldn't do a video on it. But then I thought, nah, this deserves a video, man. This car definitely deserves a video. So let's quickly talk about values. We've not touched on the value situation yet. Before we do that, let's quickly do a car vertical check. I think that's really important. Should we do car vertical first, or should we talk about... Yeah, let's quickly get the dreaded car vertical check out the way. So, Nissan ZE1 New Leaf. By the way, I did have one of the old Nissan Leafs. I don't buy and sell many electric cars whatsoever. I did spend some time in a Tesla. If you didn't see that video, go and check it out. I spent £23.60 on power to charge that car, and it gave me a certain amount of power. And I spent £23.60 also on diesel in an old Volkswagen Passat. It had only done 120 miles on a full range of charge. That ain't very good, is it? And it cost me £23.60 to fully charge that car. Oh my God, you actually have to pay. I thought this stuff was free. Which kind of got me thinking, if I spent £23.60 on diesel and stuck it in an old diesel car, like this one behind me here, I wonder how many miles I'd get out of £23.60 in an old diesel. If you want to find out the answer to that question, head over to that video. I'll link it in the top corner, or I might link it in the description below. But either way, make sure you find that video because it's really, really interesting. The car vertical check, like I say, shout out to them. I will link them in the description below. Use my code CCD to get a little discount on your check when you do it. It's all good. It's got a green tick next to the mileage. It's not stolen, it's been in no accidents, it's got no finance on it as well. This is actually their old check. I will show you an example of their new checks as they have updated their system since the time of filming this video. And this car is actually a one owner from new car, and previously had a private plate on it as well. And it's not really had no maintenance whatsoever. They're very low maintenance electric cars. Now, if we quickly talk about values, this car, the value of this car today using my system, enterreg.com. This is a trade only platform, but if you do want to sell your car, you go to enterreg.com, put in your details, and it will face you with a buyer, one of our trade buyers on our group. And as you scroll down, KM69YWR, it does a basic check on the car as well. Not exported, not imported, not an insurance write-off. Then if we scroll to the bottom, you've got cap valuation and auto trader valuation there. The retail cap valuation is 13,795, and if you look at the auto trader retail valuation, because this is a retail car, it's 15,694. We tend to go by auto trader because it's a bit more accurate. It does vary from car to car, but today's value of this car is in the region of 15,500 to 16,000 pounds. Obviously, being an E Plus Techna, it's a higher spec car. It's got sat nav, heated seats, and all that sort of stuff. So it offers everything, and it is the higher power one as well, of course. So valuations over the last 6 months though on electric cars have been absolutely terrible. Now, I've done a video on my TikTok. I would recommend you go and check that out, where I talked in details about the valuations of cars, specifically electric cars, over the last 6 months. And generally, they've dropped by about a third. So this car today, if the valuation is in the region of £16,000, it would have been worth 6 months ago about £22,000. That's about £1,000 a month decrease in value. That is crazy, but they have begun to stabilize. I will show you some screenshots or a little screen recording of the TikTok video that I've done to show you that they have really leveled out now, and they're looking good. Now, the main reason for them dropping is, of course, electricity prices went up, everyone got scared, and even now, like, fuel prices have come down. So at that point 6 months ago, fuel prices had actually gone up quite a lot, whereas now they're looking quite good. They've come down, so the confidence has shifted from electric cars now over to like petrol and diesel cars, specifically petrol cars, to be honest with you. And the demand for them now is a lot higher. And again, it will shift again. It will go back towards electricity because there'll be a sort of a stab in the market at some point where we might run out of fuel, or there might be some dramatic stuff on the news that they sort of manufacture and make up, and just to scare everyone. That's what it's all about, scaring people, making people feel uncertain about what they're about to do, so people just feel suppressed stressed and don't want to do anything. But that's a completely different subject for another day, all right? So currently, electric cars are in a better place than they were 6 months ago. But again, like I say, you've got to be conscious of what you're buying. It's really difficult to get it bang on, yeah? Don't feel too worried. It's difficult to get it bang on. Just try and buy something that suits your needs. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Yes, there is. Civic Type Rs. We need to talk about them. Talking about specific needs. Now, lots of people in the world don't actually need a Civic Type R. They don't have a purpose. They're just cool, man. And if you're a petrol head, you need a Civic Type R. You need one in your life. Manual gearbox, makes loads of noise. Very good performance, good residuals as well. They seem to, they're very much holding their money at the minute, especially the earlier cars, because as they slowly become classics. But an FN2 Civic Type R, should we do it on that, or should we do an EP3? Let's do an EP3. EP3 Civic Type R done 20 to 70 mile an hour in 7.11 seconds. All right. Now the quoted 0 to 60 time on this car is 7.1 seconds. So they're almost identical. Yeah. Obviously, we're talking 20 to 70 mile an hour compared to 0 to 60, so they're not a comparable speed frame, but we are going to do 20 to 70s, and what do I think? I hope that the Civic Type R is faster than this car, but I think this is going to be faster? I don't think it is, because this top speed is 99 mile an hour, surely this ain't going to be quicker than it ain't. There's only one way to find out. I've got my draggy box currently on charge because I've not used it for a long time. I think what we need to do right now is, because I've done so much talking about this car, we need to hit the road. I need to demonstrate what it drives like, because it drives all right. It actually drives really well. And we're then going to do the draggy time section of the video. And then right at the end of the video, we're going to conclude how many miles I've got out of a full charge. Right, so we are off in the Nissan GTR, Nissan Leaf, the Type R killer. Well, it might be a Type R killer. We're about to find out. You're probably wondering, Cav, why do you not like the Nissan Leaf? What do you not like? There must be people watching this video right now that have come to this channel that don't know me, never seen me never seen me ever before, and probably thinking, why is this guy being so hard on the Nissan Leaf? I think for me, I say this a lot as well. Cars aren't just A to B. They're not just commuters. They're not just majors just to jump in and just get you from A to B. For most people, they actually are. But for a small community of the world, they're not. And this car, I mean, it does a great job of just being a commuter. It gets you from A to B comfortably, affordably, smoothly, and, you know, safely, I suppose. But it's just got no character. It's just got nothing going. I mean, it's brilliant. Like, all this works and everything's great and it's comfortable. But then I suppose a Transit is a Transit next to me. I suppose that's got no character. That just serves a great purpose. But then the Transit's got history. It's got a backbone. It is the backbone of Britain. So you can't really criticise a Transit for not having character. I don't know. Is it just the way of the world? Is it the way the world's going to go? I don't know about that either. Is it all just going to be electric at some point soon? Maybe. But the great thing about a Nissan Leaf is, like, I'm currently on a roundabout, and it's like, you know, you sort of feel like, what I do anyway, I feel like a bit of a silly billy driving it. Like, I pulled up to the gym this morning, you know, you go in, do your little workout, come out, you're feeling like all big and clever after you've just done your workout, and walk into the car park, you think, see a Nissan Leaf, and you think, this just ain't me. Don't make you feel good, but it got me to work perfectly fine. Now, the performance, I don't know what I was going to say is a good thing about a Nissan Leaf, because you don't get no road rage in it. I don't mean road rage from other drivers. No one gets angry with you. Everyone's really forgiving. They probably just feel sorry for you. I don't know what it is, but it's like if you're in a BMW or a Range Rover, for example, everyone's just like wants to get in your way and doesn't want to let you go. But in a Nissan Leaf, it's like everyone just loves you. You're just so unthreatening. But watch this motorbike, ready? Put down, look. Nah, no chance. I wanted to demonstrate the performance of a Nissan Leaf there, but that wasn't the ideal case scenario. But what I can show you, if I slow down now, yeah, watch the way this thing just squats and takes off. This is not even a joke either. I'm not exaggerating. Watch this. 3, 2, 1. No noise. Just goes. It just bloody goes. So that's what we've got coming up our arse at the minute. Is it an Audi of some kind? Watch this Audi. And I had this the other day, yeah. I had a Range Rover Evoque next to me. Or behind me, went to overtake me, and I thought, I'm just for a joke, I'm gonna put my foot down, because they're thinking he's just in his Nissan Leaf, commuting in his Nissan Leaf, and it come next to me, and I put my foot down, a bit like his Volvo right now, yeah. 3, 2, 1, ready? No, 3, 2, 1, go. I've done that, yeah. Look, he's going to overtake me, look. And I found it hilarious, And basically the story is I continued on, accelerating on, I continued driving, and the Evoque was still next to me, and we was in triple figures, yeah? The speedo had gone up beyond a speed limit that just was going faster than we should have been, all right? And the whole time I was absolutely in hysterics on my own, having a proper giggle in my Nissan Leaf. So yeah, performance-wise, they're good, but the big question is, are they faster than the Civic Type R? Mark, look, 3, 2, 1. Nah. Look at that, look at that. Look. Imagine it. He's got back behind me now. Thinking what? 3, 2, 1. We are bolting off the line. Indicator on. Listen to the noises. There we go. We done it. We done it. Did we beat the Civic Type R? Right, I'm about to break some hearts. I'm literally about to break some hearts, man. So the EP3 Civic Type R, again, I'm going to remind you that I've done 7.11 seconds. Yeah, that was the car that we kind of chose to compare this car to. I've done a few runs in this car, and the slowest run was 7.46 seconds, right? Fastest run out of the lot with the Nissan Leaf with the 62 kilowatt hour battery was 7.29 seconds, right? So it is proper quick, not quite as quick as the EP3 Civic Type R, but this is a big but. If you look at the Draggy leaderboard now, on that leaderboard, if you look at what cars it compares to, it is just above a Honda S2000. This car, from 20 to 75 miles an hour, is faster than a Honda S2000. Now, you might say, yeah, but the Honda S2000 is a manual gearbox, yeah? And you know what? No, not even that you might say that. You would say that. I would say that, yeah? I would defend it, and I'd be like, well, yeah, it's not really a fair comparison. But it would be a little bit embarrassing, wouldn't it, if you was driving your S2000 and you got whooped by a bloody Nissan Leaf. Just below the S2000, by the way, is a Mugen FN2 Civic Type R. That done it in 7.49, is that right? Something in that region. I'll put it up on the screen now. This is faster than that. So the answer to the question, is it faster than the Civic Type R? The answer to that question is yes, it is. It just isn't faster than the specific one that we chose off of the leaderboard, the EP3. So I am massively impressed. We're yet to find out how many miles we get out of a full charge. I am going to daily drive this car over the next few days, which I really don't want to do, but I'm going to do it for YouTube, for the benefit of my channel, and hope. Parking sensor. It's also got reverse camera, 360 cameras as well, by the way, which is pretty cool. Center armrest. And see if it beats the quoted mileage by Nissan of 230 miles to a full charge. So, quick range test update. It is now the following day. I actually done a journey to Darkside Body Shop in Leicester today in the Nissan Leaf, because I thought, oh, you know, I've got to do this range test stuff, yeah? I got all the way here, and I'm about to head back. 56 miles till the destination. The current battery level may not be enough to reach the destination. Would you like to find a charging station? Nah, not now, because that would be cheating, so no. I should have just charged it whilst I was here, but obviously that would be cheating the range test. There's 32 miles left in the range, so I am not going to get back. But I'll keep driving until I see a 0 or close to a 0, and then I'll pull over somewhere, because hopefully there'll be magically somewhere that I can pull over and charge it, and I'll conclude the video of the amount of range I got out of the Leaf at that point. All right, let's fast forward to that section now. It's time to stop. 9% left. Anxiety is seriously kicking in now. So I've, well, that's providing they've got charging points here. That's the next challenge, isn't it? Just gonna have a little look. Surely there's electric charging points here. But there actually needs to be, because I've only got 9% left. Ah, it's on the other side of the motorway. That's not good. Battery's gone dead on my front facing camera because I've been using it all day today. So the battery deadness and anxiety in this car is really strong. And I'm joining the M1 now, again, after not being able to find a charger, because there is a charger. He's flashing me to let me go, but I'm like just proper granny in it. There is a charger on that side of the M1 apparently, but I'm heading south and I don't want to get off and spin around and get back on and that's just going to be a mission. So surely it's going to be easier to just continue on my journey. This could have been a whole separate video. 17 miles, it's just gone down. So basically a light's just come up on the dash saying battery charge is low, charge now, and then the number 14 is flashing to say that, you know, we've only got 14 miles left in the range. 6%, I'm sort of sitting behind the lorry just to try and save some fuel, battery. And basically the sort of the conclusion or the summary of my current situation, I just saw a sign that says service is 20 miles away. So I'm just sort of hovering at 55 miles an hour in the hope that, it's just gone down to 13, in the hope that it gets us to the services. So update, 2% left. There's 8 miles left to go until we get to the service station, which is about 8 miles away, yeah? And now the 8 has just switched to like a dashed line, as if like there isn't even a zero. There's not even a zero. It's just a dashed line. Right, so the percentage has gone to a dashed line now, and I've just seen the services sign 1 mile away. 1 mile away. Dash line on the percentage, dash line. Oh, it's saying half a mile. Dash line on the mileage. I've got a headache. I need water. I've got water there, but I'm just like, just so tense, man. So tense. But we're still behind the big lorry. He's been great to us, and we're pulling off now. I'm not going to put my indicator on just yet. It looks like he's turning off. He's probably wondering, why, mate, have you been stuck up my arse this whole time? But it's looking like 200 yards, 100 yards off. Indicators on. We're off. I can see McDonald's. You lot can't, because you ain't got a front view camera. Let's hope now that there's somewhere to charge his car here. There's got to be. There's got to be, man. I can see him. I can see electric charging points. We've got one available. Let me get a photo of that. Let me get a photo of that for the gram, mate. Look, no one, I've never been so happy to see an electric charging point. Look at that. Look, just so you don't know, I'm going to hit record on here now, yeah? Look. What a relief. Now the big question is, how many miles did we get out of 100% of battery on a Nissan Leaf? So a couple of days ago when we charged the car and I left my house, 100% of charge. Wow, 100%, that looks good. That looks good. Look, I've got the shakes and everything. Yeah, this is no joke, mate. 100% charge. Says it said on there should have got 193 miles. We should consider that this car has done nearly 70,000 miles, so it would have had a bit of age wear on the battery. If you're wondering why I didn't reset the trip when I got it to 100%, it's because I couldn't find the trip reset button. I've just found it. So it's now on 67,000. Let's just make it more exciting. Screen recording. So what we're going to do is use a calculator, because that makes it more exciting. It's currently on 67,102 miles, and when it had 100%, it had 66,922. 66,922. The total mileage that we've done in the Nissan Leaf on 100% of battery is 180 miles. So the quoted 193 on the dash, it didn't quite do that. And it hasn't done nowhere near the quoted 230 mile range that it says from factory, but this car isn't brand new. So do you know what? In a nutshell, I think that's bloody brilliant. It's incredible that it's managed to do that many miles. It's got me to a service station with 0 miles that was 8 miles away. I've now got to try and work out how to charge it. I'm sure that ain't gonna be too difficult, but I'm gonna wrap it up, leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.